Hello everyone, this is Pugdy, and we're finally going to get to play my favorite game of all time, Morrowind. I've played this game many times, completed pretty much all the quests multiple times as well, different difficulties, different mods. This game has more than its fair share of mods, although most of them are aesthetic or balance tweaks. And honestly, I'm just excited to play the game again, but every time we play, it's important to kind of have not a goal per se, but an intention, we'll put it that way. Obviously, it's not a game of discovery, because I've already played it and pretty much know most of what's going on. I think that this time it's more of a role-playing bent. While while I do intend to become obviously leader of every faction and play the game and explore everything, the way in which you do it is very particular. It changes the playstyle drastically. As an example, in a private playthrough a while back, I started off as really went ahead with the Mages Guild and the Thieves Guild and got my thieving skills up, and after being able to raid all the treasuries in Vivek, and I had so much money, I just could train myself up to the point where the game wasn't challenging. And, that's fine if you want to go along that route. You're supposed to become super powerful, but something was missing as far as the progression. It happened too quickly, so I think my goal this time is, well, I'd like to start off with the Imperial cult in the temple. Being an unarmored warrior, poor, having to rely on my wits, blunt instruments, magic, healing, gathering, getting to know the land, acquiring artifacts and enchantments, building up that kind of in that direction, if that makes sense. This doesn't mean that I won't indulge in a few side quests here and there with different guilds. I'd like to do a couple of tasks here and there just for money and to get some reputation and to keep up my cover as an adventurer, but I think basically the character that you have, well, we'll continue this after the start of the game.
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up. Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
I swear Gieb's the most important character in the game. If it wasn't for him, you would have never ever woken up and would have slept forever. Become a sleeper. So, like we were in the Imperial capital, which I'm assuming is where we lived. So we're kind of, whether we like the Empire or not, it's what we're familiar with. So the Imperial cult, the Imperial Legion, and then the Imperial transition into the Temple as well. I think those are going to be our two main places that we'll probably progress pretty far in. I think we're going to train up our... the only skill I really would like to train up a significant amount is unarmored. Just because I don't plan to have a lot of armor to start in the game. Although we'll probably start with some heavy armor early on. But end game we're going to be wearing a lot of armor anyway, so when we're powerful we'll level up that stuff, but it's just so relaxing. Nerevar seems like a wonderful name too, don't you think?
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go.
Good man, Jib.
Quiet. Here comes the guard.
Such a broad, strong chest.
Get off. Come with me.
I'm not gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just the truth. So I'd like to play this kind of as if we don't know what we're doing, even though I do know what I'm doing. I want
Get
to...
yourself up on deck and let's keep this as simple.
I'd like to do a lot more travel in the beginning. I'd like to do most of my quests walking and exploring, kind of fighting along the way, gathering ingredients, saving them, that kind of thing. Instead of just popping from place to place, trying to complete everything as quick as possible. To me, this game is more of an escape. It's beautiful. I mean, especially with the new mods, like this is like it's a part alien, but part familiar world, you know. It's damp, it's rainy, it's swampy, there's deserts, there's a whole smattering of landscapes, but there's also mushroom trees and crazy animals and monsters and a wide diversity of armors and weapons and things to collect. And this, of all the games I've played and of all the mods I've installed, I have a mod installed that is probably my most favorite mod of all time of any game I've ever played, and I'll at some point share it with you. We shouldn't take too long in getting it, but yeah. So normally I tend to make 2-3 hour videos just playing all the way through. I'm going to try to take more breaks just to split up the videos. I know I can cut them in half, but another thing we're probably going to do is try to do a hardcore playthrough, meaning no deaths. And I always play on max difficulty. So autosave when rest. Which is rest attack, subtitles crosshair. Okay. So that is a little bit of what we're starting with. The first video or two might involve just all the stuff we're doing Satanin, and then our transition to wherever it is we're going to go next.
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You finally arrived, but our records don't show who won.
One of my mods is it changes the starting abilities and the specials of each of these people. I don't know if Resist Fire was on there before or whatnot, but I don't really care for the specials of the Imperial, but I do love his starting abilities. The Speechcraft and Mercantile are very important, especially starting out. Longblade is one of my favorite weapons. Blunt Weapon is, of course, one of the things we're going to be using when we're in the Temple and the Imperial Cult, but This is a very good starting group for what the kind of character I'd want to play. I've also done a lot of red guards, which I think are very, very strong early on. Basically, they have the potential of the highest weapon skill at the start of the game. I don't think most anyone else doesn't have a 15 to a weapon. I guess the wood elf has 15 to marksman, but we're going to be using that terribly early. So just imagine 15 to longblade, make longblade an actual skill, and then pick combat, and you've basically got, you know, a skill that's already at 50 or 55 right at the start of the game. It's insane. So we're probably going to go with a Nord, though, as far as playthroughs. It just usually makes me this is kind of what I gravitate to most of the time. So immunity to frost is very helpful. Resistance of shock 50%. Woad and thunder fists. Like, these are just, obviously they're not going to win massive battles, but they can help give you a little bit of an edge as far as a shield and defense with a little bit of damage early on. That's very helpful. So we're probably going to go with the Nord.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
I just gotta say, like, this game came out 20 years ago, and when it came out it was amazing, but by today's standard it's garbage. But man, the upgrades these modders have done to it, it's just glorious. So we are going to do a couple of early game exploits, just because I just don't know if I can play without doing it. But let's get this starting part over.
Ah, yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
So we're going to fill out the forms ourselves. I kind of have a custom class that I typically like to play. So you get +5 skills to your specialization. So I think all skills start off at 30. Major skills are 20. Minor skills are 10. No, everything starts at 5. My bad, that's an attribute. So 5. If it's a major skill, that's 25, 30. So the other red guard would be at 45 for a long blade to start if we wanted to do that. So I think... Oh. The 2 weapons we're probably going to pick... It's usually between 3 different things. Long blade, blunt weapon, and marksman. Bows are pretty fun, but I'm much more of a melee kind of person, especially in Morrowind. In Skyrim, I'm probably more of a archer, because it's just so fun to snipe people. But let's do a quick... We'll do just... So we're going to want long blade, and we're going to want blunt weapon, and all this other stuff. We'll do long blade. We'll do blunt weapon. We do want sneak as a major skill. The way I like to have it is a balance. Like, you're definitely a fighter. You're going to be fighting gods. You're going to be fighting monsters. You're going to be fighting animals and bandits and all that other stuff. So you have 10 major and minor skills together. So 5 of them I like it to be like 5 warrior skills, 2 or 3 thief, and 2 or 3 mage. And I usually go 3 thief and 2 mage. So an interesting thing, like, regardless of how I start out, regards to the story, there's a thematic, there's a theme that I know that I would want to follow, and that is the theme of Nerevar, the Nerevarine, the Incarnate. And based on what I know of his weapons and what he used to wear and so on, like long blade and heavy armor are pretty much necessary for up here. But as a speaker, he's also into, you know, had some pretty serious speechcraft. And I need a something from the magic tree, and unarmored is always a good potential. But as that's what I like to train early, I can't really put it into the major or minor skills. Gotta make my level go up too fast. So from the magic tree, it's usually one of 3 different things that I really prefer, which is alchemy, mysticism, or conjuration. Conjuration is what's necessary for bound weapons, which is I plan to use quite a bit early on. Mysticism is the teleportation, which is always helpful, and alchemy is, you know, alchemy. It's ubiquitous as far as whatever you're doing. You need lots of fun potions, either to make for money or to use for health and fatigue and all that stuff. So I'm not sure right now. I'm just going to plop some things in and think about it. We do want blunt weapon and athletics. I think we're going to do... We want security, don't want an axe. We want alchemy. Potentially light armor. We really could do unarmored. I just don't want to. Just don't want to. We're gonna put light armor just for right now, but so let's look at this. We got sneak, speechcraft, that's 2 thieving. 3 thieving with security, although light armor is stealth as well. So thieving, 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 thieving. Nerevar to me, even though I do need some, like speechcraft is this is non-negotiable. Long blade and heavy armor are non-negotiable in the major skills. That's just they're I can't. We can't really do a game without those as major ones. The things that are up for grabs are conjuration and sneak. But another thing to consider is you got endurance, strength, intelligence, personality, and agility. Intelligence. Yeah, we got 3 things that are for intelligence, so I'm gonna have to decide. I mean, getting rid of alchemy or conjuration and replacing with something, like those are our only 2 mage skills, and they're both intelligence. So sneak, speechcraft, security, and light armor, one of those is going to have to go. I like having security. I like having security just because it allows me to kind of open most of the early game locks without a hitch. It's not, but thematically it doesn't make a ton of sense. Like as a warrior king or a general, like being able to like sneak that is such an important ability in the game, as far as no matter what faction you're in, sneaking into stuff, breaking into things, being able to be seen without having a crime committed. That's just so important. So I'm leaning towards keeping sneak as a major skill. Could do unarmored. And instead of buffing unarmored first, we could kind of put all of our eggs into something like, you know... Because the problem is we want to get our endurance up very quickly so that we get the max amount of health per level. And this is the hardest. I've restarted so many times after 10 or 20 minutes of playing, just realizing like I just don't like the initial setup. It's so important. As far as which things go up faster, you know, I'm not too worried about combat, but they get a plus. This gets a +5 to everything, but I usually pick stealth because then it gives me a little boost to everything. Like the speechcraft or mercantile is obviously important. You're going to be using marksman, sneak, light armor eventually. Security, of course, acrobatics. The only ones that are you don't really have to be using or won't be using much of are probably the short blade or hand to hand. Although I tend to like short blades a great deal. So this kind of balances out if I pick stealth. Alright, we're gonna do, alright, if you're unarmored is there. Athletics. We need athletics because, you know, I like the idea of, it's not the same, but I almost, like, there's a lot of, there's parallels between Nerevar and Aragorn. You know, a king returning to the land to lead his people. Stealth is something like the ranger would use. I think Nerevar would too. Strength, obviously, and endurance. Maximum starting health. Although if I was like really thinking as far as, well, I mean, like there's a thing, like, as far as Aragorn had a ton of endurance. He also had willpower. Like everything in here was massive. The ability to move forward, like his willpower, his discipline, his resiliency. He was wise. I mean, I don't know if, he was intelligent. He wasn't like Gandalf intelligent, but he was very smart. Obviously, agility and speed, that's all important, but endurance is more about starting health. And while you resist magic, your maximum fatigue, magicka, starting health. If I had that as intelligence, Wow. Let's put alchemy over here. So we got 3 things for intelligence up here. 2 endurance, 2 strength. Two endurance, 2 strength. 1 personality. 3 intelligence, that's too much. Yeah, we need to get rid of one of those things. Kind of leaning towards security, actually, yeah, because I want conjuration. And alchemy, that's the other thing, too. Like, that, to me, that's knowledge of the land. That's part healer. It's a herbalist. It's, you know, the Ashlander wisdom, the wisdom of the healers. It's a temple attribute. You know, it's just very, very important. Sneak, alchemy, speedcraft. Like this is pretty standard for me. This is almost what I do every game for this particular class. Yeah, we can't do security. I was looking through the combat. I don't want to do armor. Part of me is thinking like medium armor. That could be a... And I mean, a lot of these are self-imposed rules. You know, I could go find a set of ebony armor, even though they're pretty rare, and just run through the temple, through the temple quest wearing a full set of ebony armor, but the whole point is role-playing, not just doing whatever the hell I want. Don't need another weapon. I love the spear in this game. I wish... I wish I could put it somewhere. So we're not doing security. I don't have any willpower up here. So normally I go... So what do we got? Warrior, warrior, warrior. Athletics is worse. We got 4 warrior. Technically we got 3 mage and 3 thief skills. Security. We could have marksman as a secondary skill. We got agility and agility. We don't have any willpower though, that's the problem. Sneak, speechcraft. One, two. Unarmored's technically a mage skill. I want to have 4 mage skills. Hand-to-hand's just a waste of a skill, so I shouldn't put it there. I am so sorry, guys. We're really just... I'm pretty happy with blunt weapon. I'm happy with unarmored. No, I'm not happy with unarmored either. I think that should be medium armor. But I want it to go up faster. Honestly, though, I could just train it up as a minor skill and get some levels. Like, why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I do that? If I could raise it 30 levels, get all the endurance I need. Marksman's a thief skill. Agility and agility. We already have an agility. We don't need 2. We already got personality. I do want something with willpower in it, though. Let's see, alchemy and conjuration are both pretty damn important. conjuration. We're going to replace it with mysticism. Mage, mage, mage. Thief, thief, thief. Warrior, 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 warrior. Mage, mage, mage. Okay. So we got 2 weapons. Hammers, axes, long blades, sword and shield, but we also have heavy armor. I don't like security being a minor skill, but it might be better to have it there. The last thing is, do I really want that to be unarmored? And maybe that's the thing with the start of the game is his skill really is in heavy and medium, or heavy and light. And he starts off with what he's not good at. And then his skills get very strong, but his level stays low. So he becomes powerful. Adamantium orc. I think we're going to keep unarmored. Class description. Not the king they deserve, but the king that they need. Let's just see what this looks like.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
These have been changed as well. I normally go with the lady, but as an example, like the steed, speed, endurance, luck, favorite pasture, I think is something like recall, or it's basically a teleport to someplace safe. You know, warrior is the strength, endurance, and attack. So there's a couple of other things there, but thief and shadow, like a lot of invisibility stuff there. which honestly is really good. A lot of these are really good in the beginning. This, like the shadow would be great in the beginning for stealing certain things, but okay. But I almost always go with the lady because the personality, again, Nerevar, Nerevarine, warrior, king, leader of men, he has a way with words. Endurance, you know, that's fortitude, fortify willpower, that's fortitude as well, like his ability to make the agenda go forward. And then there's something poetic about the lady. You know, the lady in the beginning is Azura, and you're like, she's your patron. She's the one that's like she's the one that's made you an incarnate. So, thematically, I just kind of have to go with that one. Yeah, I have to go with that one. That's 60 skill points in the beginning also. That's pretty damn big.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
So we're at 60 health. I could go back and try to redo these and just kind of see if I could do intelligence, but I think that would make my health go down to like 55 or something, but yeah. Got sneak, alchemy, speechcraft, longblade, heavy armor, security, athletics, mysticism, unarmored, blunt weapon. Medium armor is at 15. Light armor is at 10. Lots of abilities made of frost shock, lady's favor, lady's grace, lady's blessing. Home civil intervention. That's not bad. And that, to me, kind of like, even though we're from the Empire and the Imperial cult and the Legion are a little bit at odds with the Temple because they believe in different things, I think that we kind of gravitate towards the Temple as it's, well, at least in some way wants to protect the people. Okay. Conjuration. Definitely wish I could have made that higher, but as I look at this, you could get rid of security, and we could do light armor. I kind of think conjuration for that, and then light armor. So thief, 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 magic, 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 fighter, 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 fighter. I'm going to do a little bit of a read-up on what these things are. just to refresh my memory. Characters receive a +5, which is applied, all of which fall under the specialization, which will be easier to increase. Major versus minor versus miscellaneous. If a skill is a major or minor, they will play a role in how fast a character level is gained and how much an attribute can increase on the various skills in the major or minor skill level be gained. Each time 10 skill points are granted. Masters of Rest will appear once the player rests level up menu. Doesn't say anything about major and minor as far as whether they go up slower or faster. Alright, let's check something. What if we do intelligence for that? 55. Yeah. I want it to be endurance. 2 weapons, 2 armors. As far as willpower, we could also do restoration, although I'll probably end up using mysticism much more. And if you're the Mystic of Azura, that makes sense thematically. Conjuration. Yeah. Security is very helpful to have that buffed early, and I may put 10 points into that, 10 to 15 early on if I've got the money, just to kind of round it out. I'll probably do that with most of my miscellaneous skills, just to give me a little boost to all of my attributes, but yeah. Speed, mysticism, conjuration. Okay. Nerevar, Nord, class, incarnate, incarnation of Lord Nerevar, the Nerevarine. This class is unique to Nerevar. Beautiful. Sneak is important. Speechcraft, Longblade, Heavy Armor are all going to be important. But I think it'd be a nice challenge early on. Start with unarmored. I'm not going to be unarmored like immediately. I want to put some heavy armor on, but when we do the, when we finally do the temple and all that other stuff, we're going to want to have this be pretty damn high. We're probably going to build that up pretty quick.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Now, we have a little bit of fuckery to do. For those of you that don't know, we're going to steal pretty much all of this. Why, you might ask? Well, you'll see. Because part of playing an old game is the NPCs are idiots. Or they're omnipotent and know you've done something bad, even if though they've never seen you before.
You take me
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celes Gravius.
Bounty. No crimes. 50-50-50.
You've made your last mistake, thief.
Shit. I think I didn't drop the last book. I right-clicked to close. Well, that's not the end of the world. This minute. Oh god, this video is already 45 minutes long. We're gonna hold off on all this stuff because we have more things to steal. But don't worry. Press R to activate your magic menu.
Your patience, please.
Mad Leveler enabled. That's another mod I have. This is a key we're going to want. And that, moving this basically from the spot that it was at means that it's like no longer under their control, meaning I can pick it up immediately after this.
You've stolen for the last time.
So now I can actually pick it up, and it's not a problem. I'm pretty sure I screwed up the book thing. I did. One of the books is missing. It's only 30 gold, but that really makes a difference early on. I don't know if it really makes a difference, but it makes a little difference. Wax. Lucky me. Scales and trauma root. Pitcher. Gold. Silver candlestick. Flynn, 100 gold. That's one of probably my favorite alcohol in the game. Besides for ancient Dagoth brandy. Silverware cup. Beautiful silverware. Equip lockpicks. Try to pick the small lock. We're going to steal all this stuff too. I like to leave the lights just because I like the mood. So, we got the lockpick. This is so much harder. Oh god. This is one of the reasons I think security is so important early. I've got to put 10 or 15 into that early on, just so that I don't shoot myself. Now we can finally talk to the guy. Let me take a look at your identification. Alright. Thank you. Word of your arrival. I am Solus Gravius. My background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Yes, you're in Morrowind. I don't know why you're here, but the Emperor said so. So, you have duties. This is a package with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Caius Quasatus in the town of Balmora. Go to the Southwall Corner Club and ask for Caius Quasatus. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor. I have a letter for you and a dispersal. 87 gold. Well, that's better than nothing. These little blue things right here are topics, and you can kind of, investigate them. So now we can finally play the game, now that we actually have our character set up. Tons of endurance. Strength, willpower, and personality are pretty high up there. And, yeah. But here's why I like the, picking something other than combat, is because most of my, like, all the combat is just different ways of hitting people. That's pretty much what it is, and some armor. But, yeah, I've got a lot of pretty low, crappy skills here, but, you know, block, you can put 10 into those and whatever, but the mercantile, marksman, acrobatic, security, a lot of these things are really good to have just a couple extra skills in early. So, and Longblade is at 35, which is fine, but 51 minutes. So, as much as I could just keep playing, we're going to take a break. I haven't learned the right way to video edit yet, so instead of just making a long video and then cutting it up, or just taking a break right here for like 5 seconds and cutting the video up, I have to save and pause the video and start again. So, yeah, so we saved, and then we will continue later on, guys. You all have a good day.